Robots. The very word conjures up images of science fiction movies and visions of the future. But could our ancestors have created automatic, programmable machines hundreds or even thousands of years ago? Full-size human replicants, animals that moved by themselves, sophisticated multi-action robotic chronometers over 15 meters tall. New evidence suggests that ancient robots could have really existed. The imposing legacy of the ancient world is still evident today, but temples, palaces and tombs do not tell the full story of life as it was thousands of years ago. If we look deeper beneath the ruins, we find a world of extraordinary automated machines.
Although the ancients lacked electronics and computers, some of their automata were really surprisingly sophisticated and incorporated concepts like feedback control and programming.
We are discovering that the ability to create programmable gadgets has been around for 2 millennia. There existed automated devices that were centuries ahead of their time. And many of these breakthrough innovations gave birth to the science of robotics and to the technologies still used in automated machines today.
A lot of people think that robotics was invented at the beginning of the 20th century. But they were proto-robots. There were a lot of proto-robots around throughout the centuries for 2,000 years, and without those we wouldn't have any modern robots.
The human imagination has always dreamed of a future where we might interact with life-size human replicants. But this might not be a dream. Could it have happened hundreds of years ago? Vinci is a small town nestled in the Tuscan hills. It might have remained an insignificant dot on the map were it not for one man, the town's most famous son, Leonardo da Vinci. The genius of Leonardo was recognized in his own time. Not only a renowned artist, he was also a gifted inventor and pioneering engineer. The Leonardo Museum in Vinci contains models of some of the most important and fantastic inventions the world has ever seen. Ingenious counterweight cranes, Leonardo's prototype helicopter, the first in history, strange and claw-like wing designs for futuristic flying machines, and large fortified tanks mounted with powerful cannons 400 years before they appeared on the battlefield. But the museum contains treasures far more valuable than these models. The manuscripts of the actual drawings and notes penned by the hand of Leonardo himself. The collection is known as the Codex Atlanticus. Contained within its pages are sketches and blueprints for hundreds of Leonardo inventions. Hidden among the pages of this text is an extraordinary find, one that challenges the history books. The pages reveal in intriguing detail the inner workings of a fully automated android, made to look like a knight.
So now what it's left us with is having to be detectives. It's a bit like an archaeological dig. We have to go in, we have to look at the drawings over and over and over again.
It was in Florence that Leonardo did much of his work. Alessandro Romanelli is a curator of the city's Leonardo Museum. It is here that robotics historians have actually reconstructed Leonardo's robot knight, based on sketches he made 500 years ago.
Leonardo dedicated himself to the project of an automaton, which is a humanoid machine.
The android's design was based on an advanced knowledge of biomechanics.
And that's the science of how our bodies move. And so he was all the time thinking about, how could I make a machine that would be like a person?
Leonardo's robot was intended to replicate human movement. Muscles, tendons and ligaments were all studied meticulously before their functions were incorporated into the robot's design.
Leonardo thought of the human body as a wonderful, perfect machine, and he tried to create a mechanical model that could reproduce the effect of human movements.
Cogs in the robot's chest were attached to axles that were wound with rope. As the key cogs rotated, the rope became unwound or wound tighter. The rope was attached to the limbs, and as the rope was pulled or released, the limb moved.
It worked through the effect of tightening and loosening the ropes to simulate the traction and straining of limbs.
Beneath the knight's armor, we can see the gears and ropes that turn to tighten and loosen the ropes attached to the arms.
We can see the wheels in the robot's chest.
The ropes were fed from the cogs in the chest, through the shoulder, and all the way down the arms. The result was that the turning of a gear produced a movement in the limb.
This would be the movement of the arm.
Put together, it produced a remarkably human result.
So what the robot can do is hug someone. So they reckoned it went up to people and hugged them.
The robot knight would have enthralled and entertained audiences wherever it went. But were there ancient robots designed for more sinister and violent purposes? The ancient Greeks lived in an age of myth and legends, a world populated by gods and monsters. But in ancient texts, there are stories of another kind of being, this one fully mechanical. Stories of robot warriors.